My name is Mark Van Buskirk. It's been about 5 years since I've done this. 5 years since I've been in the corporation. We started PhotoVu about 4 long years ago, 80 hours a week. It's amazing what 2 men in a truck can do. We started out of my basement in Boulder. We sold about $200,000 worth of product there. And then my wife kicked me out there. We started in a 2,500 foot facility. And then after that, we just moved recently to a 5,000 foot facility. We actually make product in the USA. We actually sell a lot to France. Over there, it's PhotoVu. We stick a big Made in America USA flag on there. Proud of that. What we did is we're really frustrated with the fact that there's so much power in digital photography, yet it's really not being utilized. Your photos, everyone's taking more and more photos, more and more content, and they're basically stuck on your hard drive. So we formed PhotoVu to really take them off your computer and stream them to your wall, your living room, your family room. And what we wanted to do is, instead of these little tabletop models, we want to put something you can really put on your wall and really enjoy. At the time, I think I had maybe 20,000 photos on my hard drive. Now I have 40, 50,000 photos and growing. I've been shooting digital since about '96. And there was really no way to fully leverage the solution. So what we did is we said, hey, we got to go ahead and stream the photos. So we came up with this. It's all Linux-based. It's embedded, powder-coated aluminum chassis. We don't have the production runs right now to do any kind of hard tool molded type products. I used to work at companies that made millions and millions. This is thousands. But each one of these are very expensive. We sell them all day on the internet every day, $1,000. We have no distribution. We've chosen a direct model for now. We're paying Google about $4,000 a day right now, so it's pretty painful. If there's anybody that's experts in natural search, I'd love to talk to them, because we basically pay for clicks.
4,000 a day?
4,000 a day. It's out of control. And this is all self-funded startup between my partner and I. He last worked for McData. I last worked for 3Com. So that's kind of the networking piece.
How many units do you sell each day?
I just got another tabletop. We're just selling a lot.
So it's hard to compare the 4,000 versus, let's say, 80,000 of income.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do. I don't mind. We'll do 1.2 million this year. 2 men in the truck.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we're growing about 3 to 4x. I've kind of kept a low profile in the Boulder area, but I'm coming out because I think we're going to have to scale this thing, and we probably will need to take some outside capital. We just have a simple Linux-based product. It's all embedded Linux inside. You can see this is basically the web interface. Right now, I've created a peer-to-peer network with a laptop. I wasn't sure if it was going to work in here. You see it'll echo back some of the stuff. The way this basically works is you go in and share a Windows directory. Again, these aren't any special folders, any pictures that I'm playing. They're just some stuff that was on my hard drive. I'm shooting some metal frames there. These are pulled off of Flickr. We are RSS enabled. It's really kind of cool. You can point these things, since they are internet connected. You can point them out to the network. We'll download stuff from Flickr. Like this is pulled from Flickr flowers. I just accumulated a bunch of them. You can really get the photos 3 different ways. You can stream them from your local area network. You can get them from a USB hard drive. When we started the company, they had maybe a gigabyte hard drive if you were lucky. Now they're up to 120 gigabytes. So now you can, instead of streaming them one by one over your network, you can put a whole 120 gigabyte USB hard drive in the back and play an unbelievable amount of photos. Or you can stream them from the internet, from web sharing sites like Flickr, SmugMug, the Picasso website we're working on. Unfortunately, as you guys know, there's no really standard in RSS feeds as far as photography goes. So we have to write each parser by ourselves, each one for each web photo sharing site. But the basic idea is, you can see here, down here I have a active photo directory. What you do is you just share a folder under Windows. It works under Mac. I should say almost, not a majority, but a significant number of our customers are Mac, because they're willing to pay a premium for a premium product. They're very obviously photocentric. So you see here, this photo directory has a little hand under it. You all familiar with that. I shared it as photos. And what you do is you go back here to, you'll see here, I have Windows, this is my computer name, and I have this photo share directory. What we do is we go out there and then you mount that directory, make it active, remotely of course, and then essentially the PhotoVu will go out over the network, hit the hard drive, the network attached hard drive. It'll recurse through whether you have 10 photos or 10,000, I don't really care. It'll build a linked list and then it'll start streaming them over real time. So the idea is you can leave your photos in your native format. The idea is you can store, manage, edit, back up, do everything like you do today on your computer, and leave the files in their native format. We don't care if it's a 2 megapixel, 8, 10 megapixel image. We'll bring that across the network. We will scale and/or crop it in real time, and then move on to the next one. So there's no local storage. But then we came up with the USB hard drive, so we can do either or and/or both. I don't know how I'm doing on time. I haven't pitched in 5 years.
We got about another minute and a half.
Okay. So there's a plethora of features in here for any of the gadget heads. Here's some of the options. You can see I can select the day between the time between photos. I can auto rotate photos. I can change transitions. It's got stuff like date and time, so you can it goes out and synchronizes time. So obviously it'll go off at night around midnight, come on in the morning, automatically do that. These things can stay up. They're up 30, 60, 90 days just constantly. It's a very powerful thing when you have your photo collection on your wall every day that you can enjoy. It's silent. It's another thing, when we designed it, it's all fanless. There's no moving parts in here. There was a couple competitors that were started in circa 2001. We got all their customers because they had fans in them. They all burned out, things of that sort. And then the networking can get as sophisticated. I mentioned a little bit about RSS feeds. You can see that the RSS feeds here, you can set up some folders. The UI is not the most simple. It's just a basic web interface, but I can assure you it works, and it works well. We support customers every day on this. Let's see. Another feature is albums. We integrate with photo sharing software, especially iPhoto. We didn't reverse engineer their database, but they'll export it through XML. We can go in there and we read it so people can play a subset instead of having to share each folder separately or recurse through the whole directories. You can get very granular, build a smart album from certain time frames or periods or whatever, however you've organized it. And we can go in there, read that, build that list really quickly, and display it.
Excellent. Questions? We'll start down here and then work around.
Are the frames connected by wire to the computer, or they're wirelessly?
They're wireless. Right now I have a wireless ad hoc connection. Usually it's in an infrastructure mode. The wireless was the key because usually when you're on your wall, you can find a wall in your home that's got power on it. It's really hard to run network, but you can run an Ethernet. They also will work on Ethernet as well. I should also mention that part of our features and our power is that we're customizable. So this is an example of a new stainless steel kind of, we call it the refrigerator look, with a metal frame. We haven't even announced our metal frames. And then we have really high-end custom wood frames. You can see this is a solid cherry kind of thing that's actually by a local company here in Gun Barrel called Picture Woods.
Each of those is $1,000, you said?
For you today?
Before midnight tonight. Okay.
Actually, no, I didn't do this, but if anybody, I didn't really come here to sell these, but if you go on our website, because we are going to be sold out, so you mentioned in the notes, Boulder Meetup, I'll give you $100 off if anyone's interested.
Questions? Yeah, back there.
How do you charge for the service?
There is no service. We don't believe you people have to pay for their own content.
There's no charge, you just pay
right.
for the unit?
Just pay for the unit. And then it's really amazing how much public content there is out there now with all the photo sharing sites.
We got him, then we'll come back to you. Sorry.
Just wondering what's running under the hood as far as the hardware. What processor are you running? And did
We-
you build your own your own Linux distro builder or something like that?
Yeah, it's a custom distro off of Debian.
Okay.
As far as, I come from a hardware background at Motorola and 3Com, so we could design our own embedded board. But VIA's come out with a very cost-effective embedded solution, so we're using that until we scale the volumes. You want to control the questions, Adam?
Yeah, I'm just going to throw a question real quick. So if you're going to go out to try to raise money, are you a hardware company or a software company?
That's a good question. We're a custom manufacturer of digital picture frames. that involves embedded hard. It's amazing how much embedded work there
We're
is.
going to
now.
go here and then.
What's the lifespan?
It depends on what manufacturer you want to believe. Basically, there's two fluorescent sticks, or sometimes 4, sometimes 6, in the back of LCDs. They are moving to an LED methodology. But those flesh and sticks will last anywhere between 40, 60, 80,000 hours. They rated it basically half-life of brightness.
What's the protectable IP?
A lot of trade secrets, a lot of provisional patents filed. Ask RIM about IP. It's good to have IP, but if you don't have, millions of dollars to defend it, it's kind of problematic as well. But we have filed some on a
I'll come back
provisional
to that,
basis.
because I said interesting. Go ahead.
Well, with all the scale that's going on, economic scale with HD and stuff's going on, aren't you afraid of getting your shorts chewed by somebody coming out with like a $250 or $275 version of this?
What was the earlier question, though?
I was just saying with all the scale that's going on with HD and all the popularity, the cost of a lot of your componentry, it seems like it's going to be getting darn low, the screens and things.
Right,
Can't someone build one of these things today for $250?
Well,
Sell it for $250?
It's like anything. They're not going to, I can assure you, build volumes, stuff at that level with this kind of customization. Look at the framing shops and things of that sort. So we've taken we went to the very, very high end. Is that a concern? Sure, it's a concern every day I wake up, and every 80-hour week that I spend on this. But we thought we could play by going into the high end, and that's where we've stayed. We are selling the smaller one we import from China, small frame. And it's amazing what you learn by just supporting the customers and that all day.
That's great. Thank you.